This is Ron and Nick with another edition of Ask Ron. We're actually streaming live right now, Ron's virtual Quick Start School. And Ron's taking a quick break here to answer your questions, the Gold Club members' questions. So, how you doing, Ron?
I'm getting there.
You ready for the first question?
I am.
All right. This is from Scott Cusack in Detroit. I purchased the Mastering the Phone course. I have phone fear, but I finally called this yes lead who was a real estate syndication attorney. Question one is, I'm doing land contract like a wrap where I will match terms of underlying mortgage. Did I hear you say that terms in 2B can be replaced with the words principal, interest, and length of term to be same as underlying loan? Or should I enter this item in 18 with TBD for each item in 2B?
You can do it in either one. 18 is the catch-all paragraph that doesn't cover everything in it, or you can just do it at the end of 2B.
Okay. Question two, also in 2B, should I check includes 1/12 annual tax and insurance option?
If there's an underlying loan with an escrow account, you don't have any choice. If it's free and clear, it's entirely up to you and the seller.
All right. Next question is from Stephen in Texas. I think Stephen's on here as well. I understand that there are unique laws here in regard to lease purchase. Can you tell me what it is normally done in Texas legally to make your system work here?
Yeah. You buy subject to, or you buy with owner financing, or you buy with cash, and you sell with owner financing. You don't lease purchase to tenant buyers and collect big non-refundable deposits. Now you can, but there's a 6-month window on it, and you're going to have a hard time finding an attorney that will close a lease purchase in Texas because of all of those onerous rules. They're so worried about violating one of them. So everybody I know just buys and then sells with owner financing, or buys and puts tenant in it. There's no law says you have to sell it.
Okay, so I think that's his second part of his question is, how do I sell a property to the end tenant buyer and still have the ability to make a rental profit and then sell after the 60 months?
You can, if you sell it with owner financing, you've sold it, period. And the downside of that is it's going to be short-term capital gains, no matter how long it takes you to get the money. And you get no depreciation on the house. You get no future growth except for the equity in that note. I don't like selling with owner financing because I lose all of those things. But if I live in Texas and I want to sell it, I don't have any choice. Can't put a lease option tenant buyer in it. Again, that doesn't stop me from just renting it. So if your goal is to build an empire and not sell, then just put tenants in them. And I still don't have the answer to the question of, well, just how much of a deposit can I collect? This is something you should ask your attorney. Can I collect a deposit and call it a security deposit? But if you do, you got to give it back when they move. There's probably ways to get around that and get more money out of your tenant buyer. I don't know. It's a question for your good real estate attorney to advise you on that.
All right. Next question is from Cecil, also in Texas. Recently, I was recommended Note Servicing Center as a contract servicing agent to pay the seller. I looked at the company website, which does appear impressively professional, but I've never heard of them. Any thoughts or recommendations on noteservicingcenter.com?
No, they don't know of them. We use escrowserve.com. SERV.
Okay. Next question is from Farhan in Washington. As per your teachings, we should not move forward with signing the paperwork until we see the house. With the current
No, I did not say that. Okay. I said I do not want to close, if that's what you meant. But I most certainly will get a contract all day long before I see the house if there's a problem getting in.
All right,
and now, if you're going to operate virtually, you don't have any choice.
Yeah. So that's the next part of his question is, with the current situation around COVID-19 that promotes social distancing, how are your students closing deals?
Well, again, the seller sends us a video of the house, and then we get a contract signed by the seller virtually, and then it's up to you whether you have to get in. Some of my students are not even getting in the house. That scares me somewhat because I still don't know what I'm buying until I go out and look at that house or what's next door. So I am going to go look at it, or I'm going to have boots on the ground go look at it and look for some issues that weren't disclosed or that scared the heck out of me. I mean, sometimes even things like odors. I mean, we used to have an area here in Jacksonville that just was a Glidden paint factory. It just smelled horrible all the time, and every house around it stunk. All right, so you don't know what you're getting into until you go see the house. So I'm going to have somebody look at the house, okay? But I'm telling you, a lot of people are buying them without looking at them. When you think about it, you got no risk. Just the same. How hard is it to go see it? I'm going to see it one way or the other. At the very least, I'm going to drive by it.
All right. Next question is from Maria in New Hampshire.
Mm-hmm.
I yellow lettered a vacant home in my area not listed for sale. I did some research and found they own it outright, but owe the town $18,000 in taxes.
Mm-hmm.
His estimate is $185,000, and the house is in good condition.
Mm-hmm.
If they're willing to deed me the property and I pay the taxes,
they're not going to deed
deal?
You the property for $18,000. Who are you kidding? Huh? You get on find them, you track them down, you get on the phone, and you find out what they want, just like you do any other property, and get pipe dream. They're going to deed you the house for $18,000 in taxes and worth $180,000. Come on, Earl. What book are you reading?
All right. Next question is from Rodney, Mississippi.
Yeah.
Can't blame Ron for giving it straight, right?
It's getting late. I'm getting to be mean up here now, aren't I? I got no grouch control here.
All right, Rodney from Mississippi. I have a seller who will sell for what she owes,
yeah,
but does not want the loan to stay in her name because she is going to buy another house.
No choice.
How do I address this issue?
You say, listen, if you can't leave the loan in your name, I can't buy your house. It's that simple, because there's no way you get that loan out of their name. Now, you still have to. Leaving the loan in her name does not keep her from buying another house. Okay, as long as she's got some income coming in to cover that debt, and she does if you buy it with a wraparound mortgage. Now, she could also lease option it to you, and she would get credit for 75% of the rent you pay her toward her debt ratio. But either way, she doesn't have to get it out of her name. She just hasn't had anybody explain to her why.
All right. Last Ask Ron question is from Toby in California. In a sandwich lease, when your end buyer qualifies for a loan to cash out, who pays the closing costs?
The buyer and seller combined, certainly not me. I'm going to get a check on the closing statement for a consulting fee or an option fee. And that check is going to be the difference, what I agreed to pay the seller and what the buyer agreed to pay me, minus what the buyer's given me in down payment. So I'll have no closing costs, because the deed is going directly from the seller to the buyer.
All right, that wraps it up.
All right. Okay. I'll see you guys next week then.